And here come the lights for the Chinese Grand Prix of DRZ Season 7. And the lights are out and away they all go off the line. Towards turn 1 we go. It was a great start at the back there for SR getting off the line well. And Senior into the first corner on his teammate Content. There's a lot of contact and everyone seems to be okay so far, but there's a bit of shuffling. There's a bit of ghosting from one of the Ferraris. That's Jesse. Seems like everyone's made it through clearly, but Cryptic's been hit and he's at the back of the grid now. Going up to the front, Content has taken the lead. SR up to second, Mint in third. Joe Bidome already up to fourth. What on earth is this? Joe has gotten the best start possible. He's already into fourth place. Senior in fifth, Dodger sixth. And it seems like there's been a huge crash because Nolly is down in last. And there's yellow flags out. Not sure what's happened. He's doing donuts. He's had a mistake as he spins back around. Going the right way this time. Struggling to get his car on the move. And there's Jins trying to sort out his car. I'm not sure what's going to happen there with him. There's my master in the chrome McLaren livery trying to make a move on Jesse. It's a very packed field though, so overtaking is quite difficult right now with this many cars around. It's a bit swarmed. But Joe Bidome from 9th to what is that, P9 to P4 already on the first lap is an insane feat that I didn't expect him to get away with. I don't know how he's managed that. We'll have to get a replay after the race of that, of course. But Content leads the race as of now. Mint in P2, SR in P3. Surprisingly held his own and actually gained a few positions off the start there. Coward absolutely got fumbled and he's already down to P12 and dropping. And it seems like there's 3 wide through those corners there. Content setting the fastest lap and completing the first lap of this race. One car's gone wide there. Salties is into the pits with the Haas Suzuka livery. Into the pits he comes, I'm assuming he has wing damage. Cryptic and My Master also following him into the pits, so they all must have wing damage of some degree. But yeah, Joe Bidome in third. Now he's past SR and he's going to be on his way to battle with Mint soon. Content has already gotten away from Mint though, seems like by just over a second. But I believe there'll be a bit of time management going on right now as there is 28 laps of this race. Rain is on its way. You can see the clouds starting to form. But yeah, Sharky up to 8th for now. Bolly in 9th. Coward and Jesse for P10. Seems like that battle's going okay at the moment with Marcin following behind in 12th. Losing out on the start, of course. Dropping a few positions, but nowhere near as bad as the likes of Salties and Cryptic just getting absolutely hit and dropping positions even more. And now after the pit stop, they have lost a lot of time to their teammates and other competitors. Dodger in P5 defending it quite well from Wasley at the moment. Wasley in that RB finding himself in P6 off of a pretty bad starting position, I will say. We have a look at the grid position switches. Wasley trying to defend from both the Mercs down into turn 1. They're all side by side. It's 3 wide. It's the first corner and Wasley's been hit and he's off the road. And Sharky also had to go off the road briefly there. Dodger is spinning. Sharky's through for 5th now. Dodger and Wasley made contact. And in the chaos, everyone has just gotten in between. And it looks like Wasley's out of the points all of a sudden. And the swarm of cars continuing to all squabble on lap 3 of this race. It looks like Jesse's going for a move on Bolly into the inside with wing damage as well. And Bolly on the outside trying to defend it, but he's struggling out of the corner, struggling to find grip with those hard tyres, of course. Anyway, down the straight, Jesse looking at Coward for a move. Doesn't quite go for it just yet. There is a DRS zone coming up, so it's understandable why he holds himself back for now. Oh, he's going for it now, though, because he's guaranteed to have the DRS, and he's gone down the inside. Coward not fighting that too much, but on the exit, he might have a go. He is having a go. On the exit, the Red Bull coming back at the Ferrari down the straight, but Jesse will have the DRS, so he slots in behind, but he goes for a move on the inside. They're so close to making contact, and down the inside, they both have to brake quite early, and sending it down the inside is Slow Stage, getting P6. Coward dropping to 7. Meanwhile, again, Joe dropping out to the battle for the lead of the race at the moment. Mint leading this race. Content sitting behind him, but Content will be getting a constant waft of dirty air from Mint, so I can't say that is helping Content's tyres. So I'm wondering what the strategy is here. Is he just waiting for the rain, which is coming? It is lap 8 and it is quite cloudy, so I wouldn't be surprised if the rain would start to hit in a few laps' time. We don't know how much the rain is going to be affecting the drivers, of course. We don't know how wet it is going to get, because it will be clearing up quite quickly from what we saw on the weather forecast. Meanwhile, down on the main straight, for the lead of the race. Content has taken it, and Mint has dropped to 2 seconds, so Content has made his move for the lead. He's had enough of sitting behind Mint, and the move was done. Joe not really getting a chance to gain from it. Of course, on those mediums, his mediums are starting to die. He had an advantage for the first few laps, and that did prove crucial because that has put him up into third now. But as a result of that, the mediums die much faster than the hards on this track. So he kind of fell away from the lead battle, but he is on the podium, so I suppose that is a good season. So that is quite a big gap. As Jesse and Coward again squabbling for position, and the rain has arrived. The rain is here, ladies and gentlemen. It has arrived on track, so Jins has timed it. I'd say he's timed it okay. It could have been a bit better, as a few people are finally starting to get time penalties now. Sorry, my mic just came loose, did it? Is my mic still working? Yeah, my mic's still working. Sorry, I just had to test it. So the rain has arrived. Question is, who's going to box next? 3 drivers in the midfield just got time penalties. Let me have a look at this real quick. We've got 3 seconds for Jesse, 6 seconds for Dodger, and 3 seconds for Bolly. Now, time penalties can get appealed, so it depends on the circumstance, of course. But it looks like Jesse, hang on, Jesse's going for a move on Coward once more. These two have been squabbling for a while now, and it's been a pretty good battle to watch, considering both have wing damage. They're both on equal playing field throughout the track, and it looks like a few people have made the gamble, and a few people are boxing. Eamon's on Inters, Marcin's in for Inters now, and they're coming out of the pit sooner or later. Mint has taken the lead of the Grand Prix. Sorry for not getting the shot of that. We are missing out on quite a lot of racing here, because there's so much going on. Oh, and Content locks up. The rain must be getting worse and worse on the track already, because he's just had a huge lockup, and he's lost DRS to Mint, who is not boxing. He stays out, and so does Content. They both stay out. And so does Joe. I'm shocked that Joe isn't in a box. He's losing so much time. I wonder if Sharky's going to consider a pit stop now. He's P4 at the moment. He's got a good buffer between him and SR. And he is boxing. Sharky has decided to pull the trigger and come in the pits. The first Mercedes to box for Inters this race. And SR follows him. Everyone is following him into the pits. Coward is in. Oh, no, Coward stays out. Coward's going for track position here. The Red Bulls may end up double stacking, but I think there's enough of a buffer between them so that it is okay for a double stack here. But crucially, in they all come for the intermediate tyres. Sharky rejoining out 5th place on track, so he's only lost 1 position in the pits, so a relatively good pit stop for him. And he will gain a lot on these guys who have stayed out another lap. These guys have timed it poorly, all 3 of them have. So has Coward, to be fair. The track is clearly too wet. If everyone else has come in for Inters, these guys are gambling heavy here, as Mint is going to be struggling to lead this race, Content struggling to keep up with him, and Joe, of course, he's in his own little battle at the moment with dead medium tyres. He's going to be the worst of the lot on those dead mediums. He should have came in a lap ago. He had the chance. His teammate wasn't coming in, and now it's going to probably be a double stack, even if the gap is just enough. DRS has just been disabled. That is a clear indicator that it is time to box for most drivers on track. If you have not boxed, I would heavily suggest you box at this stage, as another Haas has just come in. I'm going to assume that's Salty, who has just decided to come into box. Then we've got an Aston also in the pits. I'm assuming that's Nolly. And yeah, the leaders. Mint nearly stays out again. I think that was a dummy move, as Content is trying to get him in the pit lane. And I would be very shocked if Joe didn't come in right now, because he's on dead tyres. He needs to box. As yes, they have come in. Joe's in as well for Inters finally. Sharky will not take the lead here, but he will close down on the leaders considerably, I would say. I would say it's a bit silly to just assume that Sharky would suddenly take the lead. It is a bit too big of a gap for Sharky to do that. So the leaders here, I suppose they've gotten away with it, but they have lost a lot of crucial time by staying out an extra lap. I don't know why they did it. Oh, hang on. Coward's crashed into the wall on pit entry. Hang on. And it's... Is that a safety car? It's a safety car! Coward's crash has caused a safety car. We'll get ready for the restart of this race on lap 15 out of 28. The safety car going down the long back straight now. Everyone's going to be warming up their tyres the best they can in these rainy conditions. We're about to see a masterclass and disaster class from the front runners and the midfield. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. It will be absolute chaos off of this restart. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another safety car the moment this one comes in. So stay ready. We'll wait for Mint to start to go. When will Mint choose to go? He's playing it cautiously. Out of the final corner, and he has gone. He's left Content in the dust. Across the line, racing is now back on for everyone. There's a lot of shuffling down out of the final corner there, but we're focused on the front runners for now. Through turn 1, here comes Joe Bidome on Content. There's barely any room to make it work, and Joe cannot get through as Content just squeezes Joe out of the fight. We go further down, though, into the midfield, because we have the Red Bulls and the RBs all squabbling with, I believe that is Senior, for position here. And there's a lot of squabbling. Wow. It's absolute chaos here. Jesse in P11 at the moment. Dodger has understandably dropped. Bolly down the inside of SR, getting up to 5th. There's a lot of going on. I do apologise, I'm not catching all of it. There is like a 5-car gaggle, all squabbling for position here. I think this goes all the way up to P8 or P7. So, yeah, we are missing some of it. Sharky's still P4 at the moment, but Bolly is on his trail, so he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit if he wants to stay ahead. But Mint still leads this race. Content still P2, and Joe Bidome at the moment still P3. Then there's Sharky, then there's Bolly, then there's SR, then there's Cryptic, then Wazerly, then Senior, then Coward, then there's Jesse, who's trying to make a move around the outside. Is he going to go for a switchback potentially? Seeing there's not really much movement happening that is going to open the door for Jesse. He's going to make a move though anyway on Coward. Once again, these two are squabbling. I don't think it's led to anywhere. Slow Stage cannot get the move done. Maybe reconsider. Cryptic has found his way in P5. I don't know how the hell he's managed that, but he's up to P5 and he's gaining on Sharky, I think. So Sharky's P4 may be in danger from Cryptic, as we've got another yellow, and that is Nolly once again. He's recovered from it. But another yellow caused by Nolly there. The front two have pulled away. Mint still leading this race. Content still P2. And Joe at the moment P3. Sharky is actually not doing too bad. He's actually still on the trail of Joe. So I know that might be a little bit crazy to say, but maybe Sharky could have a go at Joe. Or maybe Cryptic can, because look at the pace of Cryptic. He's actually gaining on Sharky quite rapidly. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cryptic or Sharky have a go at Joe Bidome if Joe's pace does not improve. We stay on board with Cryptic for now. Will he have a go into this corner? He braked quite late. He's gained a lot on Sharky in that one corner. Sharky versus Cryptic is going to be on soon. SR now picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Senior now gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. Out of the final corner comes Cryptic on the main straight. Sharky's harvesting, and down the inside goes Cryptic for P4, and he's made the move. Sharky drops back to 5th, and there's no contest at all. He will stay behind him, maybe try and find a move on the outside into turn 1. It's a very long right-hander, and then it sweeps into a downwards left-hander. I don't think there's a space for Sharky though, there is not. And he's struggling off the exit there, which will open the door up for Bolly and the rest of the cars to try and have a go maybe. But Cryptic is crucially up to 4th and potentially might have a go at Joe Bidome in P3, who is going to be looking to defend his World Championship that he won last season in Season 6. This is going to be his attempt of defending it, as Nolly has retired from the race and he's left the session. He's had enough, it looks like, after being lapped multiple times and having quite a few mistakes and incidents. That is the final result for Nolly. The first DNF of the session, maybe the only DNF, as there is only 10 laps to go, as Joe Bidome has a snap there and nearly loses the rear and going off track, but he manages to recover it, and I think the rain has just stopped. So Cryptic is going to be in for the fight now for the podium position. He's gained quite a lot on Joe in this lap. Sharky has fallen away a little bit, but the rain has stopped. So how long will it take for the track to dry now? As Mint still leads by nearly 2 seconds. Content has backed off for the time being, but he might come back in the closing stages of this race. So do not count Content out for a potential win in China. He did very well in Season 5 when he raced here. So do not count him out for a potential win here if he can get his stuff together. Depends on how quickly the rain will dry off. At the moment, Cryptic is closing rapidly on Joe Bidome, as we've had more incidents. I'm not sure what's happened, but there's a lot of squabbling. Someone has pulled into the pits. I think that's Dodger. No, that's Sharky, sorry. Sharky's boxed already. He's pulled the pin and he's going in for dries. Joe is going to have to actually defend this now by the RB. Here comes Cryptic, the man who we did not expect would be in the fight for a podium on the season opener in China. He's dragging himself across this main straight. No DRS to help him as of now, but the slipstream is enough to stay close enough to Joe for a potential move. When do the leaders box? Mint is in. Content stays out. Joe boxes. Cryptic stays out. So it seems like people are doing the opposite of the other right now. Bolly stays out. Wazzaly in. Coward in. Slow stage in. My Master staying out another lap. SR in. Marcin, is Marcin going to box or is he going to stay out? There's a few people making the gamble of staying out another lap. And there's some people that have had enough of these inters and they've come in. Marcin is one of them. Sharky on the medium tyre. Maybe he boxed just a little too soon. Will he gain the positions that he needs to gain back? Or will he have just paid off? Will he have just lost a huge gamble into the final corner? He's going to be trying to gain as much as possible, but he's lost a few positions, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, no, he's lost. He's pitted a lap too early, I think. He's gained a few positions back, but he is crucially just behind Jesse, who is going to be quite difficult to get back past. So, will Content box this lap? I'd assume he will. With only 8 laps to go, you'd want to box onto dries at this stage. You wouldn't want to risk staying out to the end. That would be a really ridiculous move to make, so I'd assume Content would box this lap. And in he comes. Yes, he will box. Cryptic should also follow him in. I don't imagine him disobeying that. It's a simple rule in racing. You know when to come in. And Cryptic does come in. Bolly as well, not going to ignore that. ABJ, will he box? Will he stay out? He boxes. Plays it smart. Now Mint will gain the lead potentially. Depends, as he nearly cuts the corner. He has a lag spike there. That will have paid. That will have cost him time, as he's lagging quite a bit on the main straight there. That is unfortunate for him, but he does rejoin and takes the lead. Content just behind him by about, I think there's a buffer of just under a second. So maybe Content did benefit from staying out another lap. So maybe Mint had the wrong call there. He has gained the track position, but he is not safe from Content. His Content has gained majorly with the rain drying out. Cryptic has come out P3. Joe down to 4th now, so he has lost out through boxing soon. Bolly in P5. Sharky back up to 6th. So Sharky's gamble hasn't paid off too badly in the end. He has lost some positions, yes, but it could have been worse. If he can gain on Bolly, he might be able to gain the position back. He may be able to recover back to P5. I don't know about getting a P4. I think Joe will be back on pace now that he's back on a dry track again. Coward now gets a 3-second time penalty on top of his already... I think he's already got a penalty. No, that was his first penalty. I think it's SR that's got 13 seconds, so that's a speeding penalty on top of a track limits, which is awful to have. That's not a speeding pen, that's a corner cutting pen. As they're 4 wide, ABJ goes onto the grass. I have no idea what's just happened there, but they're all side by side. DRS flies open, and Wazzaly's trying to squabble with Coward as much as possible. And we are getting a weird camera angle into the inside. There's, I think that's Wazzaly sending it. And ABJ, they've all clashed. And Jesse's going to benefit from it. Jesse gets ahead of them all. And again, look at the 4 cars all going at it together through the final corner. It looks like Jesse leads the pack. Then it's My Master. Then it's Coward. Then it's Wazzaly. And Jesse gets another time penalty on top of that as Content attempted a move on Mint. They're side by side for the lead of the race. Down the inside again, Content goes. Will he take the lead off the exit of the corner? We'll have to wait and see. On board with Mint, and Content has taken the lead of the race. Mint down to 2nd now. My Master has gotten past Jesse, but Jesse is not giving it up. He's going for a move anyway, around the outside potentially. You know it's going to go for a switchback, but he doesn't have the space to go for it. He doesn't have the acceleration, and Coward is right on his behind. So of course, he does not have the space to go for any moves right now, as SR gets another time penalty on top of his already large amount of time penalties. So that is not going to help him at all. If only we weren't getting distracted by the other battles on track right now. But Mint is leading this race with Content just behind him. The battle is still raging on for the win. Who is going to take it? Will it be the reserve driver who has won a championship back in Season 5? Or will it be the upcoming rookie? Well, I say rookie. He's not really a rookie. I would say the upcoming driver of Mint, who has had, I think, a season under his belt, or around just under a season under his belt now. With a few race starts. I think he's got like 8 or 9 race starts. If I remember correctly, maybe just under that. I'm not too sure, but Mint doesn't have a lot of race starts, and he's already leading a race. He's going to be going on for another win. So that will add on to his record as we've got a retirement. Dodger has crashed. Oh, that's a bad place to have crashed. Out of the final corner. What on earth has happened there? He's gotten beached. He's been beached on the curb, I think. And he's out. So that's one of the Mercs down. Already worn out as it is. And by the way, I would like to mention that Mint has boxed onto hards. Which is odd. Because he started on hards. And he's boxed wets. And he's gone back to hards. If I remember correctly. So I'm not sure what happened there. But because there was rain, maybe he can get away with it. Or that could have been an illegal strategy. I'm not too sure. If that was legal or not. So yeah, honestly, I've got no idea if that was okay for him. But anyway, Content sitting behind, not for long though. Down the inside, he locks up slightly, but he's gone for the lead of the race. And off the exit of the corner, who's going to be stronger? It looks like Content just managed to get the power down enough to stay in the lead on lap 27 out of 28. We don't have long in this race to go, and Content is leading it well. With Mint just behind, holding up his own against a champion of DRZ. Cryptic's done an amazing job today. He started all the way down in, I think that's, he's down 12 positions. Where did he start? I think that's P15 he would have started in. And he's gone up 12 places. So, very impressive from the rookie driver. Mint is coming back at Content. Down the inside he goes. Oh, not quite. He breaks quite early as Content also locks up slightly. And on the exit, looks like Content just has the exit speed out of these corners, so Mint can't get a move done. He just needs a good enough entry, but he's not getting the good enough entries that he needs to get in order to stay in the lead. As we go on to the final lap of this race now, towards turn 1, Mint is taking the line on the outside, and it looks like Content has, I think he just, it wasn't really a brake check, he just kind of slowed down a bit, but through the long sweeping turn 1 and into turn 2, Mint still P2, defending, or not defending, sorry, he's on the attack, trying to get past Content for the win. Question is, can he do it on the last lap of this race? There is absolutely no more time to mess around, so there's not really an advantage in terms of that. Into the another lock up though through the corner, and remember, Mint will have the DRS. So here we go on the last lap of this race. Mint needs a good exit. He's not had a good exit. Will he be able to attack and take the lead of this race on the final lap towards one of the final overtaking opportunities? The DRS flies open. He's deploying literally everything he's got down the straight, and he's going to be looking towards the corner. He goes to the inside. Content gives him just enough space, and down the inside there's a lock-up, but he's gone for the lead. Around the outside goes Content, trying to keep the position. They're both deploying literally everything they've got into the last corner. Who is going to win this race? Out of the final corner, Mint gets pushed off the track, but he stays on, and he's deployed enough, and he wins the Chinese Grand Prix across the line in first. Content just in second. What a finish. It was almost a photo finish for the two. Cryptic comes across the line third for an incredible podium finish on his debut race. Joe Bidome P4 across the line, gaining 5 positions off of his start. And for P5, My Master out of nowhere has come alive, and he's passed Sharky for P5 across the line. Sharky P6, Bolly 7th, but there'll be time penalties of course. Coward goes up to 7th, Bolly 8th,